Like, yo, you did the fuck Michael B. Jordan. Oh, that's crazy.
That's crazy. You found out who the most attractive man is to you right now.
I said that because earlier in the episode,
you thought he was the most attractive man in the world to you, bro.
He never got to lick you or something. I don't know.
I said I wasn't entertained by any of his movies. Boy, Michael B. Jordan don't get a lick out of me. Boy, Michael B. Jordan don't get a lick out of me.
Welcome back to another episode of the Mike Murphy Show with your host, comedian Mike Murphy, my man, 100 grand.
John Grimes.
Yo, before we go on, because I always forget to do this, like, subscribe, comment. Do us a favor, please. The followers is getting up, but I'm going to read what one of the followers said about, so we posted the episode with Henry Coleman, and he said some disparaging remarks about Patrice O'Neal.
He said some very what do you call it? In what people found enraging, according to the comments, enraging comments about two of the big comic guns in general, because it was kind of a package deal with Dave. It was Dave caught a stray.
Dave caught a stray, like basically said the same thing with him, but I'm giving him a pass.
But I think I want to address that when you get done with this, because not that in particular, but the premise behind it.
All right.
That's something interesting.
So one of the comments said 185 subscribers. Comments like this is why we need y'all to subscribe, so they can't say this. 185 subscribers, lame ass motherfuckers. So I said, how you mad at us for an opinion of a guest? He said, get better guests and maybe try to be funny too. I was like, I hope you're having seem upset. I hope your day gets better. He was like, damn, still not funny. Like, I'm not trying to be funny, bro. Like, I'm just like, you mad at the wrong person. He was like, I'm not mad, just let down. I saw Tyrone Biggums talking about Henry Coleman, mentioning Patrice O'Neal, and assumed it would be comedy. So I'm just like, yeah, I mean, I don't like to silence no one. That's their opinion, you know what I mean? Like, what you want me to do?
Well, he picked the wrong guy, because Patrice has a cult-like following, like almost like he's a philosopher. You know,
he got Patrice on the wall, by the way.
Yeah,
so.
he has a philosopher-like following. So it's like saying like Plato is trash or Socrates is trash. Because to me, I feel like he is a philosopher. They just happen to be a comedian.
That's my favorite style of comedy, is the people to make you think and be like, oh shit, that is a.
And I don't think we should. And I mean, for the record, Henry didn't have a lot of time, so he had to kind of leave early. So we didn't get a chance to like overextend our conversation with that. So I don't want to overextend it now. But I just got two thoughts about Patrice. One is, I think for he came from Boston.
Yeah.
He ain't responsible for what city you come up out of. If Henry Coleman was born in Boston, his comedy might be a little different right now too, right? So that's just how it goes. But in the sense of what the stories I've heard from other comics, that Patrice would go to the hood all the time, just like, oh, let me do this room real quick, drop in here, and they'd be like, this thing killed in the hood, and then just go back on the other side, all right, I'm gonna go get some more money then. Like, he went wherever he could go. If you're funny, you're gonna be funny anywhere. So I think that was the first thing that I was like, oh, I don't agree with that at all. But the second thing, the idea of getting put on by the white people versus black people following, I thought that's interesting, like in terms of like, as a comic, do you really control who says, we'll pay for your tickets, we'll sell you out, like, we'll sell your club out. We like your humor.
So here is my take on that, right? I listened to what he said, and initially it was just shocked. Like, I didn't expect him to say that. Like, even if he was just like, oh, I like Bernie over, you know what I mean? I'd have been like, cool. But then when I started like listening to comments on Instagram, comments on YouTube, and I started thinking about what he was saying, here is why I wholeheartedly disagree with what he's saying. Is because if he pandered to white people,
right,
that would be a good take. Like, you know what I mean? Because we know there's comedians who pander to white people.
Absolutely.
And they're like, he was not that at all. You know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
he couldn't stay. He walked so many white people from the shows. Like, they just was like, got up. It was like, he's like, oh, they're leaving, she's leaving. Like, he would mockingly not care who didn't like his comedy. And I think that was, like, look at him going to Today's Show or Tonight. Like, those shits, they would cut his segments short because the white people were already like, what's wrong with him? Like, there's a 2-minute visit on, like, Colbert or Seth or something like that. They just was like, I'm already off? Like, they kicked him off in 2 minutes.
Because of that video, the way YouTube works is they recommend videos that they think if people like this video, they'll recommend our video at the end of that.
Yeah.
So a few of the videos that once people got done watching, they were recommending our video next. So I clicked on one of them to see, like, is this relevant to what we're talking about? It was about Patrice O'Neal. He went on a talk show, and it was a white woman playing a clip when he was like, men don't like women because y'all want to intrude on our date. Like, y'all just talk about unnecessary shit. And she was like, she was doing it to like, ha, what do you guys say about this? He's like, yeah, we don't like y'all. You know what I mean? Like, y'all do this. He's like, you never see, the joke was, you never seen 4 guys hanging out like, yo, make this night better. We should call our girls over, right? Like, right. You know what I'm saying?
Classic.
So she was trying to play that to like embarrass him, and he just flipped it on her and like shut her the fuck up. But he made her wildly uncomfortable white woman. And the other part of that is, again, he's not pandering to white people to get on. And I can name, I won't, but I can name comedians who do that, and I don't respect them for that reason.
And like to bunch Dave in with that too, I remember Dave saying at the Def Jam anniversary show that he got rejected 4 times on Def Jam. Like they saw his set and was like, no, he's not like
what's his name? He's a legend in the game. Fuck. God damn it. He do all the
Tony Woods?
No. People gonna be screaming this shit because I know this motherfucker. He came to the Comedy Store one day and I asked Nichelle, like, I seen he was coming. I was like, yo, I'm working on some material. Can I get up thinking he would see me or whatever and be like, oh, this dude.
Bob Sumner?
Bob Sumner.
Yeah.
So Bob Sumner, he was like, yeah, Bob Sumner rejected me when he was doing the back and forth with DL. He was like, Bob Sumner rejected me like 3 times.
So if you think about that, right, and you go, all right, if these people who got the eye for what they want to put in front of the black market are like, we don't want that kind of comedy in front of our black market because we don't think it's going to hit. Is that him being rejected by the black community, or is that the people higher up saying they probably won't like your style of comedy? And I personally am attached to that conversation because I think that a lot of people think that my comedy or my approach is not geared towards black people. And I'd be like, what are you basing it off? Are you basing it off the person you think they are off stage? Or are you basing it off like the person you just saw tell jokes?
I'm going to answer that before I get too far off of that.
Yeah.
But my other point of him saying he didn't have to prey on them, he used white people. The only way Ryan Davis told Corey Holcomb this, anybody who's halfway intelligent understands that you could not have a certain level of success without having a white fan base as well. Mm-hmm. You don't have to have just a white fan base, but you can never, because black people don't have as much disposable income to go, you know what I mean? And they can only pay but so much for a ticket. So you see a white dude who got 200,000 followers, he's selling $60, $70 tickets, and they're paying. White people just, we'll pay, we want to go out, you know what I'm saying? And there's way more white people in America, so you only need a smaller percentage of the population to support you to do as well as what the blacks would need. You know what I mean? Like, if we're 13% of the country and it's a bunch of black comedians, you think that nigga just keep going paying 2-item minimum parking, babysitting, all that every week to see a different nigga comic? You know what I mean? You need white people to help you.
Going to a comedy show as a black person is a event. It's an event.
White people just do it.
You get dressed up. You get like, it's actually something
outfit.
You plan for.
Yeah, white people are like, oh,
it's Thursday. You want to go catch a show? Like, that's just what they go do. They go catch a show. Oh, Bill Burr's in town. We should try to get some tickets for it sold out. It's like, that's the most planning they'll do is his tickets might sell out. Let's get those before they sell out.
Yeah, but they might be walking past the Improv and be like, oh, shit.
Exactly. And they'll dress like us to the show.
They'll wear this
and
to the
black
show.
People got the outfit.
We going to go get a fit. You know what I'm saying? So that was saying, but go back to what you were saying about
like
your comedy.
The audience, right? You think that, you make jokes for an audience. I don't think that's the case versus like they think your jokes fit a certain audience. When it comes to like the higher up decision making. Like when I write a joke, I don't think to myself, close my eyes, go, are black people gonna love this? Are white people gonna love this? Oh, it's so. I literally think this is just funny to me, and I'm gonna say it in English so anybody should be able to laugh at it. That's how I view jokes. But I can tell that there are some people I get off stage sometimes say stuff like, "Why white people love that joke?" Or black people love that. And I'm like,
so I'll tell you why. Like back to the Dave Chappelle shit, and then you too. Yeah. So Dave came up in that Def Jam era to Morton. That was probably the height of dick and pussy jokes. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like you had to be. When Martin was like, hey, somebody put something in his mouth, my zipper's stuck. Like that raunchy, like that's what nigga comedy, like if you wasn't seeing black comedy, that's what you get. Someone like, and Chris Rock, he was way more raunchier back then than he is now. But if he did the spoke like Dave and had a cultured upbringing where he spent some time in DC, some time in Ohio, niggas probably wasn't fucking with that until he told jokes that was appealing to niggas. So when Bob and them see him, they're like, oh, niggas ain't gonna like this.
Right.
And then when he made a Chappelle show, he did shit that was funny to everyone, but especially niggas. And so if he doesn't do the Chappelle show, I don't think he's the Dave he is now.
Oh, it can't be.
I don't think, you know what I mean?
It can't be. But see, this is kind of like, to me, I think that was his method of reverse engineering his popularity. He's like, I think ultimately you should be accepted by your own people. And when they on you big, the other races go, well, you guys really like that guy. Can we check him out too? And then that's how you move over to mass media, right?
Like Kevin.
Exactly. Like Kevin Hart was black famous. Then white people were like, well, you guys, what's up with you and this soul playing guy? You guys like him that much? Let me go check him out. And then it was just boom, 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 boom.
And because all his jokes were about his family.
Exactly.
And that ghetto my dad, you gonna get some long dick, all that shit. White people were like, oh my God, I can't. But it was family. Everyone.
Absolutely.
White people would have an uncle or a dad, someone drunk, drinking Michelob's or whatever.
Yeah.
You're just replacing the product and putting a white face in front of trailer park trash. And then they're like, Uncle Bill's like that.
Absolutely.
And so they got it.
And Cat was black. Cat was heavy black. And then like a movie or something got rolled. It got a little more popular. And those two specials back to back just like set the streets on fire.
Was Friday After Next.
Friday After Next. And then he came back with Pimp and Pimp and the Pimp Chronicles. Then it was like, oh shit, this dude. They saw the guy from that movie is funny. Oh my God, the guy from his stand-up is also great. Like there was something that happened that moved you from one, like call it a wave or level to a higher level of popularity.
Yeah.
And without that, there's no way. I don't know any comics though, if you want to look at it like this though, who were accepted by the whites originally and then moved over to the black media.
No, fuck
that. It just doesn't happen that way. Dave Chappelle wasn't just doing white shows and then got the Chappelle show.
I mean, he has a set on Def Comedy Jam that is super, like, if you go on there and find it, it has millions and millions of, like, he killed it, you know what I mean? Like, but it just wasn't.
Yeah, it's just like they without that time, whatever jokes he had previously, or maybe that set didn't think would overgo. But by the time they put him on Def Jam, it was already apparent in Hollywood or like in the comedy streets, like, oh, this dude's coming one way or the other.
Oh yeah, facts.
And so they was like, okay, well, they put him on Def Jam then because he like it ain't the first few seasons, even though he was already started by then. He waited like some years to get back on, like getting in there.
So like what you said about like your comedy or whatever, right? You like, like when we was joking, when Tahir was here, when it was like, yo, he's a safe black, whatever. Like there's like, that's why when you was telling me like your upbringing and shit, I'm like, this is odd that you're the way you are now, and nothing's wrong with it. Like that's why I fuck with you. But growing up the way you did, you would think you would be a nigga.
Exactly.
Like getting rise, like everything you described is all my family and friends that I seen growing up, and we're all niggas. So for you to go up and be the and it be funny, it's like, how the fuck did this happen? So when people see you, that's why a lot of times you can't. You said it yourself. You said sometimes I don't want to say nigga after certain jokes because they don't expect me to say that.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's gonna ruin the set because they're like, hey, bro, that seems racist a little bit.
It's almost a communication challenge for me to be like, to say talk how I used to talk or talk how I grew up talking, because they'd be like, no, nigga, I got bank vibes from you. I can't imagine nigga my bank being like, shit, this loan ain't gonna go through, my boy. Like, you wouldn't think your banker would say that. You think your banker would go, well, there'll be some challenges, but we're gonna see if we can work around those and still try to get this approved for you. But the first way was the most honest way. This shit ain't looking good, nigga. You might as well stop the application. Like, but you can't. So I had to go from that dude when I first moved out to LA to like the dude that was like, how can I communicate more effectively to everybody? And what that ends up doing is you start talking in a way that you place words together that technically middle American go, I understood that. And then everybody else is like, I mean, it was English. So yeah, I understood it too. And I found myself making jokes and talking in a way now that it's clearer. I was like you know how they do country grammar, like R's, all that shit.
Yeah.
I would talk like that so much, people would just be like, could you just say it again? I didn't hear any of that. And
your
like,
accent, like your
and
drawl.
I'm like, are you serious? They're like, I didn't hear anything you just said. It sounded like you were just, they call you marble mouth, all kinds of shit, bro. Like I would get the crazy. There was a kid in my high school that when I started talking to answer questions, he would be in the back of the class and go, summer. Does anybody understand what that kid is saying? Every day he would do that shit. And then like the third day, it was like I was at a new school, walked over when the teacher walked out of the classroom, punched him in the nose. And he never did it again. And I was like,
Wait,
some of
who
that
punched him?
motherfucker. I punched him in the nose. He kept doing that shit because I got bust out from the hood into
Whoa,
these
hold
suburban
on.
schools.
Wait, you lost me. Let's fucking rewind. You said there was a kid in your class that used to speak like that.
No, I would talk like I used to talk, like my
Yeah.
and he would just start making that noise while I was talking. Summa. Does anybody understand
Oh, he was
him?
making fun of you.
Yes. And every time I talked to answer a question, I would talk and he'd be like this. Summa. So the third day the dude did it, the teacher walked out of class, and I was like, all right. Walked over, punched him in the nose. He just crying to death like this. I was sitting back at my desk. Teacher like, why you crying? He's like, he didn't say shit. I was just like, I bet you want some again.
Oh, shit.
And but that was like the last year of me not going to hood school some more. So I was just like, I'm in the suburban school. Like, hey man, is that not normal? Because we fight. You know what I'm saying? So I just thought it was normal. But I was like, oh, everything is changing. I got to be a terrified.
I'm going to tell you, this is
whole school class was terrified.
This is probably the most loser shit I ever did in my life. It's 100%. I'll call my mom right now. 100% true story. So I went for half of first grade, I went to a Catholic school because my mom went to that school. Her brother went, like, we were baptized Catholic as kids, you know, and I was like, Italian, you know what I mean? That's the thing.
Yeah.
So they were being racist because even though I look this color and out here, people were like, are you black? Joking. At home, they're like, you're a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, in a Catholic school, you're a nigga. It's three of us. It's me, my sister, my best friend, the only black kids in the school.
Yeah.
They're being mad racist. So my mom pulled me out of there, sent me to a public school for the rest of first grade, all of second grade. We moved. I don't know why she brought me back to that same school to finish third, fourth, and fifth. Still had issues, but she was just like, it's a better education. I was still a nigga in school.
Right.
I do that. I go to middle school, public school. Still around all black kids, all that. You know, I love it. It's the best shit ever. I don't remember how this happened, but I basically got offered to take a placement test for a school called Shady Side Academy. Their tuition, they have a middle school and a high school. They may have an elementary school, I can't remember, but for me, it was gonna be middle school and then definitely high school. Their tuition for the middle school and high school costs more than the University of Pitt. Like, it's expensive as fuck. And when you go there, he's like, yo, you go to Shady Side Academy? Oh, shit. You smart as fuck. Like, when I went to take the placement test, like, whatever my scores were in regular school, they were like, oh, he's probably needs to be in this school. Like, he's bored. I didn't want people to call me like a nerd, so I purposely bombed the test and still almost got accepted. Like, I fucking around and still almost got it, like, just fucking around. My mom's like, oh my God, like, are you nervous? And I was like, oh. And I told her the truth. Like, nah, I did that shit on purpose. She fucked me up. They were giving me a full ride to that shit.
Oh,
like,
wow.
if I place they're giving me a scholarship because we're poor.
Oh man.
And I did that loser shit. Like, I don't want to be the nerd because I played football in my hood. You know what I mean? And I'm like, they pulled me out of Arsenal, which was the middle school I was in. Where you go? I'll go to Shady Side Academy now. Fucking geek. I'm thinking like, these niggas are gonna bully me. I'm already light-skinned. They're going to think like, oh, you think you better than us? Most of my friends lived in the projects. We had a house, but we were still on welfare. Like, we were on Section 8, but it was just a house. So we were renting for, you know what I mean? So on paper, it would have looked like, oh, you the light-skinned, you think you better, nigga? And I was like, nah, I'm in the spot. I don't want to say I regret it now, but I let my mom down, my family down big time. And then...
So many people, like, there's ways to get saved out of the hood, right? Like, there's opportunities that come throughout your youth.
White family adopt you, like some fresh air program in the summer.
A random scholarship to a random school that you would not normally be able to go to. I mean, that desegregation program I was in is kind of like that. That was their way of saying, hey, we know it's fucked up in St. Louis. We're going to bust y'all out 40 miles and go to these schools where kids end up going to, like, 4-year universities at.
Yeah.
And St. Louis City schools had lost their accreditation. Like, the high schools, like if you graduate from there, it did not matter. We don't accept those degrees from there, diplomas from there. So they're like, all right, these schools are failing. Get these kids out.
So a college might want you, but then when they see you graduate from there, they're like,
a local high school.
It don't really count.
That is literally fourth grade again.
You got to take like
you're a fourth grade.
You got to take like 100 level courses and
absolutely
shit.
AP something, and it can't be on this campus. You better drive your ass to college and take those. Like it was so much shit going around with the St. Louis school system that like I had to go. I had no choice but to go to and get a better chance to go to college.
Yeah,
and I mean all that shit ended up working, but. I think about all those times I had to bounce back and forth, whether it was like a black neighborhood, a white neighborhood, things like that. And I'd be like, I just been so well balanced. I grew up in the hood every day, go outside in the hood every day, go to sleep, play outside on the weekends, run around, stolen cars, all that shit. Then go back to this white ass school Monday through Friday.
So you got
a
similar.
They have no idea what I just did.
A similar story to Chappelle, like as far as like, because you're and you went to Purdue. So like you have a culture that most of us are never going to get. Like you're around, I got it because I went to the military. So I was around so many different, like it wasn't.
Different backgrounds, high
Spanish,
performing, like
everything different.
Intelligent, like a bunch of things that you go, all right, this is not how I grew up on the streets. So it's like, I got to adjust to that. When I got to Purdue, I was like, this is a culture shock to me.
Facts.
Got to LA, culture shock to me. Everything's always like, oh, wow, y'all not like how I thought. But like, at the end of the day, there's always a common ground, which is why I think now that you don't blame Shapel, you don't blame Patrice went to jail and was making prisoners laugh. You think that nigga can't make the hood laugh?
Bro, he's not.
Like, that's what I think of. I'm like, yo, when you go somewhere, you don't know what somebody's lifestyle is like. You just see this fine print person at the end and go, how you get there?
I
Nigga,
think,
you don't want to go to jail to find out how you got that funny.
I wonder if he thinks because he was such a polarizing figure on Opie and Anthony that he's like, those whites gave you your story. But it's like, he was on there causing hell, bro.
People don't realize, like, and I do this, I'm ignorant sometimes of certain comedians. I'll be like, man, that motherfucker probably ain't funny. That motherfucker ain't got no problems. That motherfucker ain't had the struggle journey to be this good or things like that. And then I learn a little bit and be like, oh, wow, everybody got their own story. My bad. Like, you be naive about people a lot.
Facts.
I think that was a naive moment in terms of like a person's journey. The only thing I wish more is if Patrice was here to be like, what he would say, he's so witty and like so like he would like psychoanalyze a person to make you think like, damn, he got you, dog.
Here's the thing, and this ain't even no knock to Henry because
I think the comedian part is more interesting, like just comic to comic.
For me, like I said, I didn't ever want this to be a platform where it's like Vlad or like where you're like putting out shit just for like click, like you know what I mean, like that he said this shit,
right?
And I'm like, well, I want people to tune in to have. For discourse, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it was like, I posted the clip or whatever and it was going crazy and people like I said, it felt like, I told you yesterday, I feel like you see niggas fighting and they don't got nothing to do with you, but you still like, yo, let's back up a little bit. Like, I might get fucking hit on accident. Like, that's how I felt like them attacking him.
Oh, no, I knew it was going to spread over to us no matter what. So it was like, if you post it, it's like, we not co-signing it, but we're broadcasting it.
Because in the clip.
But it is like something worth discussing. Because there is that point at the end, I think is something that in the comedy world, it's worth discussing. Like, do you respect the comic more or less if you think that he's a quote-unquote white comic or a black comic?
Jay Phillips, who I do that respect. Jay Phillips commented, I do that respect, good comic, great writer. He said that's an interesting way to look at it. Like, he didn't say, oh, fuck that. You know, he was just like, oh, because, but the thing about it is like, and again, this is not no knock to Henry. You have, and that's why I asked him in the episode, do you feel like the things you talk about will only let you reach a certain level of success, right? Again, someone like Corey, anybody who's not playing safe or in the parameters of what's good for
they in their own pocket,
Yeah, like someone in the comments said that like the algorithm is the white people picking people who don't upset the status quo, right? Kevin Hart is one of the funniest dudes, but he can never be truly the way he was on like the roast to Tom Brady or how he'd be on them streams with Drewski. He can never do that in another setting.
Because he is a corporation now.
Yeah, he's a corporation. So it's like, if Henry's like, I had to grow up in Memphis with a bunch of, and Henry's not a stupid nigga.
No,
but I
he's
feel like he has
intelligent.
He's okay with being around stupid niggas and thriving because that makes him feel like I'm staying true to my upbringing. Because who wouldn't want to be like, oh, I sold out. You think you could sell at the Forum or Madison Square Garden with just nothing but niggas and you're not an anomaly?
That is an anomaly in any world.
Like if Kevin Hart, anybody, Chris Rock, I mean, they're doing arenas, but let me think like Dion Cole. He said one time, it takes me a little bit longer to write jokes because I write jokes that aren't just for white people, aren't for black people, but for everybody. Right. So if Dion Cole sells out the Forum or sells out Madison Square Garden or something like that, it's never not in a million years going to be 100% black people there. There's going to be white people. There's going to be Hispanic people. You cannot have that kind of success with just niggas from Memphis.
There are comics that black people like almost high percentage gravitate towards, and other people like that's just not my taste. But they in their own pocket too. Like they chitlin circuit type comics, and they fine thriving down below wherever they get in at. But
it's capped.
It's capped. You are capped. And I think this is my biggest takeaway that I think that is the challenge with his position on that is that I think that Henry's one of those people that are so good at what they do. There's a little part of you that has a little bit of, what you call it, jaded
That's what I asked him in the episode.
It's a jaded angle of like, these good enough jokes should be everywhere by now. And I totally relate. When I talk about comics, I think that should be bigger. I always say that nigga first. I'm like, yo, Henry Kobe's one of the best comics in the world right now. Like, he's too funny to not be a bigger comic. And then the only thing I can think of, I'm like, how is he not a bigger comic, is maybe something like that happening at the wrong time. Like a conversation he had in the past 20 years.
The funny thing about
Patrice is the room killer too. He was a deal killer. Patrice the deal killer.
But that's the irony of him saying that.
I was like,
nigga, he did the same thing you're doing right now.
Patrice
Shooting
walks so
yourself
you
in the
can fly.
foot. Like, nigga, what are you talking about? But the thing about this, right, with him, and this I know he's intelligent. We was talking about, you might have been here in with this conversation, but we're in the Laugh Factory, and I think it was the same day we're talking about the social media shit. Yeah. Like, why don't you post?
Yeah.
And we had a conversation where I said,
begging.
And I was like, we were talking about something. He said, you can tell certain jokes and not get canceled because the value of the victim. You can't say nothing about Jews because their value is so high in our society. You can make fun about chicks in the projects or bitches getting abortions because America doesn't value women, especially black women. So you can't get canceled for telling the jokes he tells or what Corey says because no one cares about the target of the joke. He said if Corey was telling those jokes or he was telling those jokes about Jewish people or transgender people and he's not a Shapel who's another anomaly, he would be fucking canceled. So he's like the target. And that's just, you know how much smart you got to be to realize that the target of your joke determines whether you're crossing the line or not.
Absolutely.
Like, and I was like, oh shit. So he's like, I'm safe for him, Matt, because
I'm very much in that. I believe that too. Like you won't catch me making a Jewish joke, a bunch of that. Like I don't have that in my repertoire because it's like, what's my end goal with that joke? Make Jewish people like me? Clearly it's not making nobody like me for making fun of them. Like,
I don't have any I mean, there's some people that probably have a reason to not like certain demographic of people. I don't. Most of my jokes are about my life.
Right.
Storytelling or shit that I see and I think is funny, like, oh, let me trend on this. Or even if it's like a topic that might be time sensitive, I can roll that into a joke I already have. And then once it's not sensitive anymore, I can just take that piece out and roll into it a different way. But yeah, I'm not.
I mean, the reason why I know also that he is intelligent because he has a clean set online that he taped and filmed. It's like maybe a 10 or 11 minute set, all clean. And it's just like, you know how hard it is to be funny, clean for 12 plus minutes? It's just hard.
Yeah, I can't do it.
You know what I'm saying? So I could, but it would... the credit I give to him is always like, yo, the dude's extremely intelligent because you got to be smart enough to do that. But I do think that when you get to the 20-year mark of doing comedy, you want certain accolades. You want certain things that have already happened to you by then. You want to be a weekend comic for sure by then, 20 years in.
And you know,
that kind of stuff will bother you no matter how it's an individual sport game, like golf and tennis. Like whatever the results are, it's because you played.
He contradicted himself in the episode, and I when he said it, I didn't catch it. Then when I was editing it, I was like, oh. So in the beginning, I was like, are you bitter about? He was like, no. He was like, you can be bitter, but you can't be mad that it happened for somebody else and not for you. You can be mad that it didn't happen for you, but you can't be mad that it happened for somebody else. And later on, he was like, I was like, Kev on stage could die, and all these niggas that are leapfrogging me on the internet, and I'm putting all this work in. I'm like, that's you being mad at their success and not, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, a part of him may not admit it, but that has to bother him because you have been taking the traditional route of comedy.
And he saw that there's a hybrid area of comics, probably that's about 34 to about 48 right now, that they saw what was happening on the internet and they said either I'm not doing it, I'm going the old school
traditional route,
or the new young other comics was like, no, this shit's coming, we can't do anything about it. Let's use this technology. And that's where the separation is. The comics that said embrace the technology, and the comics that said I'm gonna keep doing jokes. And now you see those guys here in popularity, and you are chasing their popularity. That's just the facts. Now, the other part of respect of a comic based off who his following is, I think that's a separate conversation. Like, do you think a comic is less funny if he's white popular versus if he's black popular?
No, I think, again,
like Josh Johnson, let's say, is probably more white popular right now, but DC Young Fly is more black popular right now. Could you objectively say one is funnier than the other right now?
Yeah,
I don't think I've seen a joke from either directly and say I can use these two jokes as comparison and definitely tell you DC is funny or Josh is funny. I don't know.
I
just
remember
know
you
who
told
the
me about
following
the
is.
Josh. I'm not familiar with him, but I remember you said he's writing like every.
He's dropping like an hour almost every week on YouTube.
So I remember you said that. So I want to check that out, but shout him out because
prolific writing. Like, I don't care who you are. If you writing that much and this shit get 1 million plus views when you drop it, somebody's fucking with you.
Here's the thing, right? If you are, this is what I don't like. I'll say this. I don't care what your audience is, how you blew up, if you got all white on, I don't give a fuck. The problem is, it's just like how, like black men with dating. You could like white women, whatever, I don't care. But the minute you start like bashing black men, black women, yeah, these ghetto bitches, that's why I like a like, nah, now you bugging. So if a black comic is like, especially a nigga comic, like Shapel Lacey, he grew up and he was adopted, black as fuck, but he's got adopted by a white family. So he grew up so if he does white shit, like listen to rock music, it's not because he's trying to fit in, that's just his upbringing, like you can't help that. But if you are a comedian who gets to white people and they're like, nah, you can say nigger around me, I don't care, like, I don't like them kind of comedians.
That is weird. And though, about that, as like you think about people like that situation is interesting, right? With Chappelle, I'm thinking like you grew up around a bunch of white people, and there's a part of you I think that still wants to make sure you identify with your people. So like I think that if you got a chance to do a set for a black audience, you wouldn't turn it down because you'd be like, meet my people. Why wouldn't I be able to entertain my own people? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think he's just avoiding black audiences, even though he got his set gets more white love, like Shapel Lacey. Like, yeah.
Oh, Shapel Lacey.
He might get like more white love right now, or get like more like white crowds that fuck with him heavier. I don't know what his audience split looks like when he goes and does the show. But if it's more white than black, I don't think that's because he said I prefer more white audiences.
No, it's because his topics relate more to that.
So what else his surroundings were?
Yeah, he grew up with a white.
But if you asked him, probably like, would you do an all black room right now? And like they was fucking with you, he'd probably be like, absolutely. I probably would enjoy those laughs even more.
Yeah, because
honestly, I think all comics, I don't know, maybe
black
I'm
laughs
biased.
are harder to get. So
the black laugh ratio of value is like here to there. Like when you're a bunch of niggas laughing, you like, oh shit, that was a good one. You're in a room full of people laughing, you go, that was a really funny joke. But niggas is laughing, it sounds like you blew the roof off.
Facts.
That's all. That's just how they sound. You'd be like, oh, that's a good ass joke. Am I a legend? Like you start questioning everything.
Yeah,
like,
and
it's a good high.
So yeah, I don't care how, but when you're one of them people that's like pandering and being like, yeah, he's like you like self-hate. Nah, I can't fuck with that. You know what I mean? But if you're just like y'all grew up, and Shapel Lacey grew up in Arizona, like
right. So
that's not black at all. It's Mexican and white, and it's like retired white. You know what I mean? Like Gulf white. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
so he wouldn't even fall in the bracket tier of what like Henry Coleman was saying about like if you get on through like white crowds, it's like the dude was in a white crowd to start with.
Well, he would fall into that if he blew up, but not because. But it's not like there's ghettos in Boston.
Patrice was pandering to white audiences to blow up.
Even like what he said, Chappelle in one of his specials, he was like, people were complaining saying like your issues with the gays. He's like, no, if you've been listening, I've always told you my problem is with the whites. Like,
yes.
Like he always makes it known, like, you know what I mean?
The smartest humor gets broken down too much to pick a side. They be on the wrong side of trying to guess what you're trying to make fun of.
Yeah.
Really, there's a bigger point behind most material anyway. People just choose to overlook that part. That's why I like smart comics. I'm like, oh, this dude was saying a lot of shit with a little bit. But that's enough about that. I just think that it's interesting that there are so many ways you can go with the conversation about the race dynamic in comedy. And even though we are comedians that are black, we'll still get called black comedians no matter what.
Oh, yeah, no matter what.
Like, if we do a show in a random city right now, and you see a flyer, to the outside world, they go, oh, 2 black guys are in town telling jokes. Maybe that's for black people to go watch.
Unless they know you.
Unless they go, oh, he tells jokes for everybody. He's okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So that's just how we got to live. So you can't punish somebody for that.
All right, you want to go, let's do this or that, John Grimes. You want to go first?
Yeah. I'll read mine first. I think that'll be a great segue somehow. I made these the other day, but it's funny how they might still be kind of. All right, well, this or that. You ready?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Open for Dave Chappelle for a year or headline comedy clubs all year yourself?
Am I selling tickets?
I asked the question. You get to choose which one it is. Even if you are selling tickets, those are the 2 options.
Headline myself.
Okay. Mud wrestle in your underwear against a man or your sister?
My sister.
Paint your toenails or hands.
Toenails.
Give all women equal rights or equal pay.
Do I have to do either?
Get jumped by 2 gorillas or get stung by 100 bees.
Oh, get stung by 100 bees.
Get back with your ex or marry the girl you lost your virginity to.
Get back with my ex.
If Trump pardoned you, would you kill somebody or kidnap Kelly Rowland?
Wait, go back?
If Trump pardoned whatever you did, would you kill somebody or kidnap Kelly Rowland?
Oh, whatever I do, he's gonna pardon that. I'm gonna kill somebody.
That's
a
crazy.
pedophile.
Okay. Pay for sex or pay for gas?
Pay for sex.
How you gonna get that? Predator or Independence Day?
I'm gonna give you the buck. I don't even remember Predator, so I'm gonna have to go Independence Day.
Get to the chopper.
That was Predator?
Yes, apparently. I just found out last night.
Ah, fuck.
Denzel movies or Samuel L. Jackson movies?
Denzel.
Okay, that was quick. I think that was 10.
All right.
Wow. If we going just over.
So hold on.
That's a couple.
Let's go back. All right,
to.
let's review.
So you're going to headline instead of go on day for a year.
Now, the only difference is because I don't want to be a Robin. And if I can sell tickets, cool. But if I'm doing a weekend and it's like 20 people at each show, I'm going with Chappelle.
No. You either going to headline or you're going to go be a Robin for a year.
But if I'm selling a lot of tickets, if I'm selling at least 80% of the show, I'm going to headline.
The correct answer was the first answer, dog.
Go with Chappelle?
It was a time limit. It was a limited amount of time, only 1 year. Do you think that the connections you would make in that year, the experiences you would have, would allow you to go back and reopen all those doors when you get done with that 1 year? It's like an internship at a financial firm. You might rub the right elbows and be like, even if you down bad at 3 years from now, you met a nigga on that one firm, you'd be like, hey, you know what, that dude was cool. Bring him back in.
So you know why I said that? Because I don't want to end up in a situation where you're tied to that person. Like Donnell could never headline and without being tied to Chappelle. Like even though it's been way longer than 1 year.
But it's more so because of the show more than it is stand-up, right?
I mean, he tours with him. He's his opener. He's his feature. So
No, but I only associate him with the Chappelle show more than I associate him with like stand-up tours. I don't know who opens for Dave all the time, but I imagine that when Donnell's doing dates, somebody else got to do it.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think so. He do bring someone else. I forget the dude's name.
Yeah, so like to me, the Chappelle show is where you associate those two together. But after that, if it wasn't Ashley Larry and he did some random stuff like another show or series.
Right now in my career, I would do the Chappelle shit.
Okay. There's no wrong answer. It's fine to headline, too.
You try to make me guilty, bitch.
I just want to make sure if you run past Dave, remember you said you didn't want to tour with me? I'm going to be right there. Hey, Dave, he said he wouldn't even tour with you, bro.
If I was selling tickets, I'm not selling tickets, unfortunately.
So you rather mud wrestle your sister in your underwear than mud wrestle a man in your underwear?
Yeah, because that's gay. My sister was just like, we're just wrestling.
And that's not gay.
No,
that's just some Alabama shit.
Yeah, that's where you from. St. Louis.
I'm from Missouri.
Outside of St. Louis, y'all are doing that.
That's crazy. You say you paint your toes?
Yeah, you put them. You can't even see them.
That's crazy too. And you say you don't want to give women equal rights or equal pay.
No, I was trying to be funny, but equal rights.
That's the one. So they still got to make less because you want to give them their right.
No, because equal pay just means I'm paying them to say equal rights means they don't get to vote and shit. They don't get to drive. That's a woman rather. Right now they have equal rights. They don't get equal pay. The way it is right now.
Which one do you think women would rather have? Equal rights, equal pay?
They'd rather have equal rights. They think they want equal pay until they got to do equal work.
It's the clip, right?
They think they want equal pay until they got to do equal work, my nigga.
They not working 80 hours. They not working 40 hours like us.
No, nigga, and they're not doing the same job. In the military, they don't have to do the same amount of push-ups as a man to pass. So it's like, oh, you want paid what I get paid? Do the fucking 70 to 72 push-ups. They don't want equal pay. They want equal rights.
All right, equal rights it is. I don't know how that's gonna age. The beach things was solid. Get back with your ex more than marry the girl you lost your virginity to.
Yeah,
that price seems valid. Wow. Did you say you're gonna kill somebody? That's fair too.
Yeah, pedophile.
Paying for sex, I can't fault you for that. Get to the Chopper. Denzel movies versus Samuel Jackson. You just got to remember Samuel Jackson was in a lot of crazy movies.
And
not necessarily
every
the
day
main
of the
character.
week, twice on Sunday, I'm still picking Denzel movies.
All right, cool. All right, I'll do yours then. Pause.
All right, that's yeah.
And I got a question too that would have your
All right, I got some too after that. 95 Bulls or 2015 Warriors?
90.
That's the two records.
96 Bulls, yeah.
95. It was 95, 96 season.
Okay, fine. I always go by the end of the year.
Okay.
Right.
So Bulls?
Yeah, Bulls.
Seinfeld or Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Seinfeld. Easy.
This is crazy. Denzel in Training Day or Michael B. Jordan in Creed 1?
Well, Michael B. Jordan don't get a lick out of me in entertainment.
I'm
going Denzel all
He don't get a lick out of you?
I don't watch so many movies of his, and I still be like,
that's crazy.
I don't know. I just don't feel it. This last movie, Sinners, the most I've been like, oh, okay.
I need to watch it.
But like Creed, I was like, Creed, I felt like anybody could.
I just watched Creed last night.
It didn't feel personal enough to me.
You know Malik B was in Creed 1?
No, I think I only saw Creed 1 and I didn't finish it.
Oh, he was the trainer. He was like, this is my gym. When he took him to Philly to start working out so he can get ready for that fight.
Yeah.
That's who he was sparring with in the gym.
That's him?
Yeah.
Didn't even realize
Malik B
that.
told me the story how he got that. That's another story. But yeah.
I did not recognize
shout
it.
out Malik
I just
B.
watched that on the flight. I didn't even recognize it.
Yeah. Angel Reese or Candace Parker?
Reese. Them legs, crazy.
Damn. Goldie or Braden?
Oh, those my kids. Get the fuck out of here. I'm like, I know those names. What the hell? You're a sicko. There's no or. It's and.
It's Goldie or Braden. They answer the question.
There's no what the hell kind of logic do you think of?
You gotta pick your daughter, dog. Your son can be okay getting bushed for the daughter.
No,
that's the rule to
trust
it.
me. This
Daddy's girl. You don't know the rules to being a parent.
You know what the best thing about having a boy and a
nigga.
girl is that it's just so evenly fair that I don't even have to think about it.
Well,
it's just so easy.
So Goldie, cool.
Oh,
George Bush Jr. or Trump?
Hey, Junior was that dude with that gas. But
that nigga sent me to a
Trump
war,
got
my
better
nigga.
memes, bro. Trump got better memes.
Better
and gold shoes. Like that nigga, he a nigga. He's the most niggas president ever,
Facts.
Bro. He put his homies on. He free rappers. It's a lot there.
So which one?
Oh, yeah, only because, yeah, I'm going to go, yeah, Trump probably got this one.
Trump, all right. Kevin and Ice Cube in movies or Kevin and The Rock in movies?
Kevin and The Rock. I can't really remember the Ice Cube ones.
Ride Along.
Oh, yeah, no, The Rock. It's just a better offset, The Rock versus Kevin.
All
They're just too big, pause.
Albert Pujols or Marshall Falk?
Pujols.
Damn, the greatest show on turf, nigga?
Yeah, but Pujols was the dog. He carried the Cardinals.
All right, Jason Tatum or Tyrese Halliburton?
What the hell? Tatum all day. St. Louis, baby.
Okay. All right, would you rather be the 0-4 Bills in the Super Bowl or the Falcons in the Super Bowl when they lost to New England, when they blew that lead?
0-4 million, never win one?
Yeah, the one with Jim Kelly and Thurman Thomas and all them, where they went to the Super Bowl 4 years in a row and lost every time.
Mike, 45 years old. I'm going to go the Hawks because they lost to the GOAT.
Oh, okay.
Better lose to the GOAT than them. But who the fuck did the niggas lose to 4 times in a row? That's inexcusable.
I think they lost.
Ass.
I think they lost to the Giants once.
Ass. Exactly. Ass.
The Cowboys, I believe.
I have no sympathy for that.
I can't remember all the teams, but
exactly.
they went 4 years in a row with Jim Kelly and they lost.
So you know what the Hawks get to say though? Or Falcons? They get to go, we lost to Tom Brady. They go, I understand that.
Yeah, that's
only Eli Manning is the only nigga that can't say that. Other than that, it's everybody else like, yeah, we lost to him too, nigga, 7 times.
You think Seinfeld's better than Curb Your Enthusiasm?
I started at Curb. It was very entertaining, but I only got to like 1 season. Seinfeld, you could play any episode and I go, this shit slap.
I think Candace Parker looks better, but Angel Reese probably got that fire shot.
They're all legal now, so it feels weird to discuss. But yeah, I think that Candace Parker was cuter when I first saw her, but then Angel Reese I associate with avatars, and I low-key got a crush on avatars.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's not Lathan character. She reminds me of that.
Whatever. What's your question?
Oh. What is your tap-out position? Like, what girl position, smasher, is your tap-out position? Like, I'm not going to last long here.
Oh, when she's flat on her stomach with her legs closed. And I'm like in the push-up position.
Wait, like you arresting her?
Like she's laying flat on her stomach and her
legs are closed.
Legs are closed. So
and you gotta try to slide it to a door like a key card.
Yeah. Cause it's so much, like it's as tight as it's gonna get. You know what I mean? It's you're going through like the back of the cheeks in through the wet entryway.
You are closing the pussy up as much as possible.
And then you're just and the cheeks is still doing this. And you know what I mean?
That's your belly hitting the cheeks, right?
No.
That's the clap noise?
That's my pelvic bone.
Yo, fupa?
Yeah.
Fupa on ass claps is crazy.
You know, so you coming to my show Sunday at the Laugh Factory?
Of course, I'll be at your Laugh Factory this Sunday.
So I'm doing a new joke, but it's funny that you brought up that part and shit because I'm talking about Trump parting me in this set. So it's funny you said that. But
interesting. Oh, well, I guess we're gonna find out next episode how that's gonna go.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, was that the question?
Yeah.
Oh, I got one more question, and you can ask me yours.
All right.
What's the best thing that can happen to you this year?
I can go on a road as either a host or a feature with someone so I can start really like working my chops and building my setup. Ideally, because they can say I get the lottery for $20 million. I'm talking realistically, if I could get on the road every weekend as a host or a feature with a comedian who does sell tickets, whatever, and learn not only just the business side, like the comedy side of it, but the business is like traveling and getting used to you. You know, we brought it up when I told you we got back from Chicago. Chicago was amazing, by the way. We didn't talk about that last episode. We had Henry on, but Chicago was amazing. And I remember we got back and it was like I blinked and you were going to the airport to go to Orlando. And I was like, damn, nigga, like we just got back home and you out again. And it seemed, I mean, when we talked about the episode with Tahir, and I was like, I hate the traveling part. Mm-hmm. That Chicago shit was like, it reminded me like, this is what I don't necessarily like about it. But if you're doing what you love, it's like, I'll take that any day.
There's no other way to get to all these rooms than by travel, and it's just pretty surreal that I don't like. I did like that Spotify rap thing of my stand up for last year. Yeah. All the cities I had been to, all the people, and I just tallied it up, and it was like 35 cities, 30,000 people, something like that. Damn. And when I captioned it like that and finally looked at that document, I was like, no, that's actually crazy. That 30,000 people saw me tell jokes. It's like you can't beat it. You can't beat it, and that's why I think that. It's just invaluable. So yeah, you're right. It would be dope to do that.
All right, I got one question for you because we got to wrap this soon.
Yes,
sir. I had a bunch, but we don't got time. So I'm gonna ask you this: would you rather go one round in MMA with Jon Bones Jones, or fight Mike Tyson in his prime for 3 rounds?
I'm gonna go one round for sure. I don't want to ever imagine what Mike Tyson feels like. Pause. We got 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. For real, Jon Bones, dog? I mean, you know what the fuck he's doing to
but
niggas,
then if he beats me, I get to just get the fuck out of there. Whatever it's a submission or a run, like I'm taking the loss, however I'm gonna take it. But I can't imagine what my brain gonna feel like if Mike hooked me. Like a left hook?
Jon Bones Jones with a
kick to the face like Shawn Michaels?
Yeah, dog.
I'm falling out like Vince McMahon, but I'm not getting back up.
Would you rather be kicked in the face, the side of the head, or punched like a left hook, a right hook by Tyson in the face?
Prime Tyson?
Prime Tyson or prime Jon Bones Jones?
That nigga weak ass foot. I'll take that foot off.
Oh, you must not have seen the Jon Bones Jones fight.
I ain't seen a goddamn Jon Bones Jones. I'm not taking the Mike Tyson hook. I
seen
grown men run out the rim from Mike Tyson. I ain't never seen somebody say, I don't want to fight Jon Bones Jones. Grown men run out the rim. Run out the fucking ring, bro.
All right, last one, and then we'll wrap. Would you rather have a one-night stand with the most attractive man alive and nobody ever finds out? Or have everyone think you did, but you didn't do it?
So you trying to figure out if gay is all caps or lowercase?
It's just a choice, bro. You just asked me, it's just a fucking choice. You actually pipe the most attractive nigga that you is in the world to you. I don't know how you figured that out, but that's him. But no one ever finds out, just you and God and him. Or you don't do it. Like, yo, you did the fuck Michael B. Jordan. Oh, that's crazy.
That's crazy. You found out who the most attractive man is to you right now.
I said that because earlier in the episode,
you thought he was the most attractive man in the world to you, bro.
He never got to lick you or something. I don't know. I
said I wasn't entertained by any of his movies.
You said
somehow you said that's the most attractive man.
He didn't lick me, or I didn't get a lick. You said something about him licking you. That's why I went back to
that. What, nigga? It's on
I have
footage.
To go back and
you a psycho, bro. Boy, Michael B. Jordan don't get a lick out of me. Boy, Michael B. Jordan don't get a lick out of me. First of all, you always choose the answer, and the answer is always the right answer that you didn't do it.
But you want people to think you did it.
They don't want anybody to think anything. But you know what's worse than wanting people to think it? Knowing that it's true. Hey, did you do that? No. All right. Well, I thought you did. Oh, you're the guy that did do it. Yeah.
I know, but no one's going to find out.
No. That dude can walk by you every day and say, I know.
Jeff Bezos was.
Jeff Bezos walking around with a picture of you on his keychain.
Man, listen, you got another one?
No, you win that one, bro. That's crazy.
All right, man. It's been another episode. We had to, we on a time crunch. We got shit going on. But please, man, subscribe so niggas can't say we only got 185 subscribers and we lame as hell. We'll have a guest next week. We couldn't make it this time. But yeah, man, hit the like button. I'm your host, comedian Mike Murphy, my co-host, my
John
man.
Grimes in the building.
We'll see y'all next week, man.
Later.